The bicycles.
Are there?
Not that many.
Now check.
All right.
Am I still a failure?
You were never a failure.
Never a failure.
I'm gonna completely go out of it.
Is it?
I'm sorry.
Is it working or not? I don't know. Is the no a double negative?
It still just says the same title.
No.
It does.
Oh, wait.
No.
Wait, hold on.
Wait.
There's two?
There's two now. Yeah, there's
What?
two.
There's two streams. One has the right title. One does
Good enough. Good enough.
And they both say they're live.
You gotta kill the other one.
I don't know.
Put it out of its misery.
I don't know how. I really don't.
There's two streams.
Channels can stream twice.
I do have good news for you guys, though. Watch. If I try really hard, I can almost straighten my hand up.
Oh,
Impressive.
it's improvement.
It is.
Okay, everybody is.
Okay,
if
at
you're
least there are
watching the
more
wrong
people
stream-
watching the Amiibo support one.
Okay, I'm gonna go into the chat of the wrong stream, and I'm gonna tell them. I'm gonna say, hey guys,
You know,
here it is.
this
Guys,
this is
go
good.
to the other one.
Okay, wait, the other thing I need to know, Jesse, did you pull episode 112 out of your butt?
No, the last
count?
no the one that was on there said 110, and I was thinking,
Mhm.
okay, well, if that was 110, then the one with Sean should have been like 111, so this would be 112.
All right.
Unless
Fair
All
enough.
right.
I am wrong with my math and memory. I don't know. I feel bad I
Well.
can't read the comments.
With everything that happened, we are officially ready to rumble.
Yes.
Yay.
So, you guys, everyone's ready? Yeah.
Mhm.
Everybody's ready.
That's as good as my thumb up can get.
Good.
So, hello everyone. Welcome to the return, the long-awaited return of the Hylian Gamescast. A few weeks ago, I don't know. We had a sort of episode with Daniel and Tubes and was Geek there? Geek? No.
I was not there.
No,
I was
Geek-
streaming on my
Geek and I
channel.
was not there, but we had Mr. Rivali
Competing.
from Breath of the Wild, and
And we had Amanda from Zelda Universe.
yeah. So you guys, if you didn't check that out, then go and watch it. It should be a little bit better than the normal Gamescast because I wasn't there. Okay, but we haven't had an official Gamescast since the announcement of Hyrule Warriors and like the Mario 35th anniversary and stuff because of moving and
Mhm.
everything. So this is the first time that we've all gotten together to actually talk about it on stream. Of course, we've had a bajillion discussions off stream with
Yes.
some of you guys in our Discord, but this is for the official episode, I guess. So starting off, Daniel, how have you been?
Oh, I'm pretty dang good.
Awesome.
Been keeping busy. Got a lot done in the last like couple months on my channel. Not that those things are connected. Just putting that out there. But it's been a good couple months. Yeah.
Awesome. And Geek, how are you?
I'm good. I've been doing really good. Super busy with work, but it's Hunger Games month on my channel, so that's a lot of fun. Just a lot of changes in the past couple months that are really, really good. So I'm doing well.
Awesome. And Shoops?
I'm doing great. Life has been busy. I moved again. I was showing off, but I started learning how to roller skate.
Woo!
Now you just need
So-
to watch the
Now it's just
original
real cool.
Disney movie from the 90s called Brink, and then you'll be a professional skater.
Exactly.
That's how it works.
It really
You
is.
just watch the movie and then you're a professional.
Skate better.
Yeah, with how many times I've watched Hunger Games, I'm definitely a pro archer.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
All right. So, Daniel, would you like to start us off with the first Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity amiibo?
Sure,
from
but first,
Nintendo Enthusiast?
look at this shirt, everybody. Jesse,
Yeah!
tell everybody about this shirt and where they can find it.
Honestly,
This is a
when you
nice
first
shirt.
showed it, I was like, where did he get that shirt?
Oh my gosh.
I was like,
What do you mean?
I don't remember making that shirt.
Oh, you did.
Did I?
Yeah.
Many moons ago.
Oh dear.
I was
Oh
like,
dear.
I was like, cool. Daniel took some initiative, but apparently I made it.
Wrong. Chevy
Mhm.
Bear did the design for it.
This
No,
is
no,
true.
I know that. I slightly remember like wondering how to space them out, but I think I actually messaged Tevi after trying to separate them, and since he had the original artwork, which was already perfectly centered, I think I had him do that. So I do
Tevi.
remember that conversation, but I don't remember actually putting the shirt up for sale. So I don't.
It is up. I know I've seen links for it in some of your other videos at the very least. So you know,
This is how long it's been. I haven't.
it's been around. What is it? Teespring that you use?
Yes.
Yes.
There you go. Just search up 𝐵𝐷𝐸 Teespring. Just Google that, okay?
You find all the stuffs.
There you go. But yes, I just wanted to plug that real quick here. It's also very nice and soft. It's comfy. But Hyrule Warriors news. We have to talk Age of Calamity. That's how long it's been. We haven't even had a podcast talking about Age of Calamity or the demo yet. But as I'm just gonna read this article from NintendoEnthusiast.com. Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity amiibo capabilities have been detailed. So now it's now we know. that's the gist.
Yes.
So, as we near the launch of Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, previews of certain features are starting to trickle out. Our sister site Destructoid, I didn't know they were sister sites,
Yeah.
Cool.
and now I know that,
Half-assed
has tested out
prep.
amiibo functionality with the upcoming Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. A number of different amiibo figures were used, and here are the results. To put it simply, the system works in a similar manner to that of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Amiibos act as an item delivery system with different figures granting different items to the player. Just like in the last Hyrule Warriors and its definitive edition, there's a daily limit of 5 amiibo figures that you can scan per day. Just as a side note, Breath of the Wild did not have that limit. You could just, if you're like me and have a gazillion amiibos, you can just keep going and like just power through and get tons of stuff. The Twilight Princess Zelda figure grants a low-level ancient memory part. The Twilight Princess Link amiibo gives a low-level soldier's broadsword. Rounding out the Zelda options tested, Sheik granted 2 sapphires. To try out a different series, the Dark Souls Solaire of Astora amiibo was also tested, and that handed out 5 Stealthfin Trouts, 5 Blue Nightshades, and 5 Restless Crickets. Why does that one give you so much more stuff than the other one?
That's really weird.
Yeah.
It's not the same franchise.
Yeah, that is weird. This level of functionality is about as expected then. While it would have been nice for Age of Calamity to deliver something new with Amiibo, these items will surely come in handy. There's also a chance the rewards could develop as the game progresses. Actually, and that's something in Breath of the Wild. The further through the game you get, the better the Amiibo drops are for the treasure chest too. Yeah, it's a neat detail. So
it's like you can't get the champion Divine Beast heads, I don't think, unless you've defeated that Divine Beast, right?
I think you need to do at least one Divine Beast
Something like that.
They start spawning. Yeah, something along those lines. So, yeah, that's the news there. Thank you to Ben for delivering that to us via Nintendo Enthusiast. Thoughts? Feelings?
I think the low-level stuff.
Heck yeah, we love Nintendo Enthusiasts.
A lot of people might think that it sucks that you just get low-level stuff, because in Breath of the Wild, a lot of the really cool stuff was kind of locked behind the amiibos. But in Hyrule Warriors, even if you have something low-level that you like, but you wished was a higher level, you can like combine and like tear stuff and like upgrade everything like people wanted to do in Breath of the Wild. So either Nintendo listened or they always planned this. I don't know. But it's good for everyone, because then if you have a favorite weapon, you can just upgrade it instead of having to get rid of it and try something else, or keep using it even though you have more powerful stuff. So I think that's really cool.
Agree.
And the Amiibo will help with that.
Yeah. The blacksmith. We're getting sidetracked, but the blacksmith is something I really like in the demo
Yeah.
that I've played so far. Just because in Breath of the Wild, I would constantly have to abandon weapons because I'm like, I can't carry enough weapons, and I'd have to ditch them. And in this way, you can just keep collecting them and actually put them to good use by fusing weapons. But
Yeah.
yes, we're getting sidetracked. But I think the
Don't we always?
the
Yeah.
amiibo drops are pretty much exactly what I expected they would be. It's something of both how they work in Hyrule Warriors and Breath of the Wild, and just even if it's low level weapons, that's fine. It's still, you can use them. Mhm.
Do you guys have any amiibo support that you would like to see in the game, aside from the stuff that it said?
All of my amiibos, aside from like my 4 figures that are Animal Crossing characters, all of my Zelda amiibos are these little cards that I bought off of like eBay or something.
Ooh.
So I don't really use them, but you know, I'll always find an excuse to use them. So I don't really have thoughts one way or another on this. I did kind of hope there'd be more to do with it, but you know, like they said in the article, it could just be because it's just the beginning of the game and it could progress as more goes on. Because I still have high hopes for this game. After playing the demo, I was like, yep, I'm excited to play this, if for nothing else than story.
And I wrongly thought they would not release a demo because in my mind I was like, they're already
I thought
selling
that too.
millions of pre-orders.
I was
Oh,
so
yeah.
shocked
Yeah.
that they released a demo.
Okay, so when I was streaming one day, they asked me, they're like, hey, there's some of the people in my chat, they're like, hey, there's rumors that there's going to be a demo. What do you think? And I'm like, nah, they're not going to do it, because with the game like Pikmin, for example, they're not sure if it's going to sell well. So they're going to put a demo out there. They're going to advertise it,
Right.
all that stuff. With Hyrule Warriors, like Age of Calamity, they are already for sure going to sell millions. Like 100% it's going to sell like hotcakes. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't think they're going to put a demo out. The next day after I said that, the demo released. Literally the next day, I was like,
Of course. That's
Well,
It's
actually
like,
wait,
never been so happy to be proven wrong.
They both said that. I was in Daniel's stream and I was even saying that because in my mind I was like, it could only hurt sales because then people could be like, well, I think I like Breath of the Wild, so I might like Hyrule Warriors. But then they play it and they realize, oh, it's not Zelda, it's something completely different, but it's just the same world. So then it would like deter people from actually wanting to buy it. But Nintendo did it
But-
anyways. So
I feel like the demo is selling a lot of people on the game that didn't like the first Hyrule Warriors. I think a lot of people
Me.
that I've talked to didn't
Yep.
like the first Hyrule
And
Warriors. and they
apparently
played the
Jubilima
demo
too.
and-
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. So you guys, so I don't know. It might have kind of both effects depending on the person that tries it, I guess.
Oh,
but-
absolutely.
alright, so Daniel, what are some new things that you would like to see from Amiibo support in the game?
Right. I mean, this is kind of not exactly the question, but I would love to actually just get some new amiibos for the game. Not that
You
anyone's surprised,
would.
but think 𝐴𝐵 is such a cool character. And
Oh, right.
she is, because at least of all the playable characters we've seen, being the champions, Link, Zelda, and now 𝐴𝐵, she's the only one that doesn't have an amiibo.
King Rome.
King Rome. Oh, King Rome does. He
was
hasn't been
announced.
confirmed playable
No,
though.
I thought he was announced like a couple of days ago. I seen a thing on Twitter.
They've
Yeah,
shown him off, but they haven't said he's playable.
Right.
Did
Yeah.
Nintendo not release a picture that had him?
They posted like about him, but they didn't actually say
Yeah.
that
Right.
he'd be a
Okay.
playable character.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, I feel like he's probably going to be, but hey, you could give me an amiibo of him too. I'd buy it. But
yeah, because
I would
But-
like one of Robbie and Pura.
oh, totally.
I think
I'd
it's-
be game for those. Or the baby egg amiibo.
Yeah.
Just a little one.
I feel like it's almost safe to say every voice actor might, or not every voice, but every voice acted character may end up being DLC. Because do you guys remember how much DLC the original had, where they released the
Mm.
Legendary
Yeah.
Edition? What was it called? Hyrule Warriors Legends
Yeah.
Definitive?
Legends. There was Legends and
Oh.
then Definitive.
on the
Yeah.
3DS, and
Gotcha.
they released its own DLC, and then they had like 2 or 3 other DLC packs, and then they had the Ultimate Edition that had its own characters, or not Ultimate, Definitive. So there was like 3 or
Mhm.
4 or 5 different packs of DLC characters in that.
Mhm.
My favorite was the
Actually,
Skull Kid pack that had that
The,
and your Stevie mask and everything.
the amount of DLC the Wii U version of Hyrule Warriors had, it's cheaper. If you have just bought only the base game, it's cheaper to just rebuy the definitive edition than buy all the DLC.
Mm.
And that's insane. So,
It's like
yeah.
buying the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Switch. Much cheaper than buying all the DLC.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's just, yeah, one of
And
those.
For
There's just a
those
lot of content.
for those without Amiibo, there is an official plan in the Discord to liberate all of Daniel's Amiibo.
Oh,
And,
exciting.
What now?
Especially his doubles.
Yeah.
Guess how much attention I spent to the
and
or
then-
how much I'm in the Discord.
It was a
I'm
plan.
gonna have concerns.
There was some colleagues of ours that joined up for the Daniel Amiibo Liberation Front.
Oh my gosh.
Exciting.
The
I can't
big
wait.
the big DALF, as we like to call it.
No!
Oh goodness me.
What
Yeah.
have we been missing? Oh my goodness.
Seriously, I'm
There-
never in Discord.
There's Juss and Gus and other people whose names end with us.
I was gonna say.
Because really, that's
the
what
us
it's all about.
come
It's about
together.
us. It's so Chubes, how's your Amiibo? What Amiibo stuff would you like to see in this game?
So you guys are probably well aware of this by now that I own one Amiibo. It's Fox McCloud.
I don't know why it's that one.
It was given to me just like randomly. It's like someone got it for Secret Santa and they didn't want it, so they gave it to me. And you know what? Like, just with my life and how chaotic it is, I can't see myself ever buying Amiibo. So I don't know, like the entire Amiibo thing, like I'm still not into. I'm not sold on Amiibos. There's nothing about them that makes me go, wow, I want to spend all of my money and not have room for literally the lack of room I have in my life.
But
I know, I'm
Chewbacca
so
merchandise,
sorry,
on the other
I'm
hand.
feeling very called out right now.
Well, this was the whole reason for the big DALF. So
No.
yeah, and then
yeah, I
redistribute
don't-
the wealth among the common people.
I don't have an opinion on Amiibos. I have always felt like they're just like a big cash grab from Nintendo, and I don't know. Like maybe if I start buying some, I'll change my mind. But I totally agree. For other people that are into Amiibos, Daniel, everyone else that isn't Daniel,
Oh no.
Jesse, you vanished for a second.
I did.
he died.
You did.
You back? But with no.
He was offended by all the Amiibo
No face.
talk.
No.
It's not a stream without errors.
That's true.
My internet is really bad, so you guys have to forgive me.
Okay, you're forgiven.
It's all good.
Yeah, because we're running off of like a Wi-Fi hotspot thing. So
Gotcha.
Oh.
and Geek is
Goodness.
not showing for me.
Well, I'm not necessary.
She's here.
I disagree.
Don't say
Oh, it's
that.
not showing yet on the stream.
Yeah.
Hold on. BRB.
So, oh, there you are. Okay. So, did
Whew.
everyone have a go? The one thing that I would like to see that I know everyone would probably dislike, but I think they could do a weird thing with it, to where if they had the microphone is just right. I have to hold mine because I don't have a stand. So
Oh
It's-
no!
yeah.
You had to.
You're like a talk show host then.
yeah, no, I have the arm. It's in my closet over there, but where I don't have.
A desk.
You have to
Well,
arm yourself.
So here's the thing. The way my dresser, I have a really long dresser, so it's kind of like blocking the door from opening all the way up, and I carried my my desk into the hallway to bring it into my room, but the door wouldn't open and I only had like 15 minutes to get the stream
Oh, no.
ready, so I was just like, I'll just leave it there. So it's like blocking me
For
from
all
getting out
those-
of my door.
For those watching and/or listening, to this who are confused about what happened, Jesse normally has a very beautiful desk set up with nice equipment,
Mhm.
but he's in the middle of moving right now, so he's currently sitting on his floor and he deserves better. Jesse deserves
He
better.
does.
Justice for Jesse.
You know
Hashtag
what?
stop the Delph.
Are
We've
people talking
been
about
there.
the
We've
Yeah.
been there. Game Awards 2 years ago, I too was sitting on the floor.
Yeah. And to add more grievance to, I don't know if that's the right word, but anyways, to make it harder, for those who don't know, the reason we haven't had many videos lately is because my hand is useless. I can't. Oh, that's cheating. I'm turning it sideways, but I can't lift it straight up. So
Oh no.
yeah, my hand's still like partially paralyzed, which is why it took 30 seconds to move the mouse to click on the thing to get back on the Discord for everyone
Oh
who's wondering.
gosh.
So yeah, so that's why there's not been many videos or podcasts, because in the middle of moving and everything else, that's been going on, which is why you've been seeing a lot of Daniel and Tubes.
That's
Mm.
true. And I've been getting some serious hate from No, I'm just kidding.
No, those are I remember those comments on those people
only
that
one
didn't
video.
they didn't understand the
some
point of the
fun
video
microphones.
because they thought
Only one.
they thought you were saying for everyone except you to not do Zelda theories. And it's like, no, that wasn't the point. He was
That
saying
wasn't
Oh
it.
god.
not to like come up with your own theory and then see someone else say, well, I think it might be this or this, and be like, no, you're wrong because I'm right, so you have to be wrong.
Yeah.
That's
It was
what
like
he was
literally
saying. not
just
to do.
like calm down and stop being jerks to each other, and
Yeah.
you know, and then
But then the
everyone
people
was
that
like,
were doing that were like, you're not
Part
the
of the fun of
authority on Zelda
theories,
theories.
variety.
yeah, well, yeah. I think rewatching the video like a day after it went up, I admit that I think my tone came off a bit more abrasively than I normally convey in other videos or things. And I think part of that is just because I was rushing to get the video done.
Alright.
But I totally see where some people were coming from. There was a lot of people who were like, yeah, that's fair, but you know, we like speculating. And I'm like, yeah, speculate away. Don't be jerks about it.
Yeah.
And
You
that's,
know, basic rules of life. Don't be a
Yeah.
butthead.
so and also part of the underlying message is people I think get hung up and attached to things and then they just sort of accept it as the fact, and I think it can lead to some serious disappointment at times. I say this as someone who's been in Zelda theories community wise for a while. I've seen it happen. I've been there, done that, right? So just, you know, always remember that speculation is speculation, theories are theories, and nothing is confirmed until Nintendo says so. So that's the underlying message. Don't be jerks and just remember what the definition of the word speculation is.
Alright.
Don't
So,
hate me.
second topic.
Yes.
Everyone. With the announcement of Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, everyone thought that it was just going to be 100 years ago, the story retold, or not retold, but told to us the first time. I guess some of it would be retold because we've seen a lot in memories and stuff, and we would just be playing through those memories, which is what it looked like in some of the trailers. But now, and it's also what Nintendo told us, let's not forget.
Yes.
There's yeah, because like the first trailer was officially titled "What Happened 100 Years Before," so that
Right.
made it pretty clear cut. But playing the demo, it seems that it's a new timeline split that's just retelling a version that won't mess up the canon of what Nintendo is wanting to do with Breath of the Wild. So it gives the Warriors team some freedom to do some of their own stuff and come up with their own ideas that won't hurt what Nintendo is trying to do. That way, both teams can do what they want to do without being limited by what the other's doing, which makes sense in terms of trying to make the best game that you can possibly make without having to not do stuff that you think is cool. But Hyrule Warriors was, I always thought, always kind of limited because for those, this is answering a question a lot of people have asked us. Daniel answered it yesterday on the mailbag thing he did. Is Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity going to have real dungeons or shrines? And yeah, probably not, because the one rule Nintendo had, not just with Zelda, but whenever they made the Mario spin-off, Mario plus Rabbids, but also with Hyrule Warriors, they like with Mario, it was like, yeah, you can make a Mario game, but it can't jump, so they gave him guns instead. And then,
That's true.
And then with
Mood.
with
It's funny
Hyrule,
because it's Mario who's known for jumping, and
Yep.
Rabbids, and Rabbids are like like rabbits, and
Who
they're known
also
for
jump.
jumping. So
No jumping was allowed to happen.
no jumping.
and then with the original Hyrule Warriors, Aonuma said, yeah, you can make a Zelda spin-off game, but there can be no dungeons or other traditional Zelda things. And then they went back after they like made a dungeon and showed them. Was like, can we please keep this in the game? And Aonuma was like, no, because
No.
they didn't want something to compete with the Zelda game they were
Right.
making at the time. So yeah, so then we got because they were like, you need to make the Zelda game that I can't make.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Mm.
Anyways, so that answers the question that everyone is probably wanting to comment or ask that didn't play the original. So it'll be, if you didn't like the shrines in Breath of the Wild, then this is for you, because there probably won't be any.
True.
But there were like small dungeon-like caves where like there'd be like a treasure chest inside or something. Like,
Mhm.
but anyways, going back to the whole story thing, do you think this will affect or tie into Breath of the Wild 2 at all, or do you think it's just going to be its own thing cut from continuity?
Well, I'm gonna just say right now, Tubes and I actually made a video, and we touched briefly on this in that video on my
Where
channel.
can people find? Oh, never mind.
So,
Ooh.
Never
but
mind.
it's like a 45-minute video. We talked like everything demo wise. But one of the things that she mentioned when we were doing that was that people have been talking about whether this game is canon or not, and if you, Kayla, you look so confused, like you're like, I didn't say this.
No. I'm sorry. It's something totally unrelated. It's
Okay.
something totally unrelated. Okay, I need to interrupt you quickly. So
Okay.
I'm kind of crying because of what just happened.
Is there an
So,
onion?
yeah. Well, where I live, my window faces another window, and I
Oh,
definitely
no.
just saw a butt.
Oh my god!
Oh no!
People, close your blinds!
Oh no!
She like opened her blinds, and her butt was just there.
Oh no!
You have to
I'm
love
fine.
Canada. Which is
I'm fine. It was a woman butt. It's okay. I'm not crying. You're crying. Okay. Sorry, you can continue.
Oh boy!
Oh my gosh, people!
Oh no! Yikes! Yikes! But yeah. Anyways, I think the game is gonna be is still gonna be canon and just feed directly into Breath of the Wild, or at least that's what I really hope. Because Nintendo's really hyped this up to be, this is the story 100 years before Breath of the Wild, and they put a lot of emphasis on that. And even though the baby egg, that's just what we're calling the little guardian, the diminutive guardian, baby egg is his name now. Even though he went back in time to try and prevent it, who's to say he was successful in actually preventing the
Right.
calamity, right? I mean, he could have just made things worse because some malice followed him back in time and possessed that guardian in the second level of the demo. So it could just be that he tries to prevent it, but they still end up walking right into the same situation anyways, and it's just an inevitability. And so I don't see why it has to change things. I think with the story they're trying to tell, they have enough to go off of to make a really strong, impactful story without having to change any of what's canon, as far as in respects to how it affects Breath of the Wild, right? So it doesn't have to be a paradox or a split timeline or anything like that. It could just be a closed loop where Guardian goes back in time, tries to prevent it, and is just unsuccessful, and then he tries again to go back in time and prevent it. It's just a loop.
Just
Over and
since
over again.
I'm limited in my gaming capacity because of my right hand. I tried playing some of the
That's just the
Hyrule
hand you
Warriors.
use for button.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah, you can still walk around though.
like when I go to press
Yeah.
a button, it literally takes like a second before the button clicks. But I charge Daniel with being the one to complete the story and then tell me about it.
Knowing Daniel, he'll
Sounds
probably do it
good.
on stream, so you're fine.
Yeah.
You can just watch him do it.
Yep.
There is
You,
that too.
you
Exactly.
have about you have potentially 5 days because we may or may not be having a guest on to talk about the
Can do it.
other stuff.
5 days to beat the game. Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put this out there. Like a couple days after the demo, I had finished the demo like 5 times already. More since then. I'm already on my 4th playthrough of Pikmin 3 Deluxe, and
And if the demo was as long as it was, I'm sure the rest of Hyrule Warriors will be a
I
lot
want
longer.
just to help Daniel. Where do you have
I just-
time?
you know, I find the time. You make time for the things you love.
Do you? Because
Where
I've
do you
tried doing that.
family? Oh, you want one?
No, it's not like that. I swear I'm not neglectful.
Alright. Choops, what were your impressions of the demo and how it may or may not connect with Breath of the Wild 2?
So, like, it doesn't really make sense, as Daniel was saying, for things to really change, because at the end of the day, we're looking at a prequel. We're looking at something that happened before Breath of the Wild. And, like, if anything, they might take this opportunity to go, oh, like, this is something that happened, 100 years before everything, and then maybe somehow, like, connect the dots in the second one, but, like, I don't know. I highly doubt that because, like, Breath of the Wild 2 is definitely in production right now, and, like, they would have to really be planning out what they're doing. And as far as I'm concerned, they don't really plan what they're doing. They just kind of go with it, and then we put the pieces together after.
Alright, Geek, what are your thoughts?
Basically in the same boat. I know there's a lot of theories going around, and I love hearing the theories about, like, oh, this is opening up a new timeline, time paradox, and I like hearing about it. But I guess realistically speaking, just I'm in the same boat. Like, why does it have to change anything? We didn't get all of the information on 100 years ago. There was so much left open. And so I feel like Nintendo and Koei Tecmo are just running with it. The idea that they can fill in some gaps and create some new things we never would have thought about. Are there going to be some retcons? Possibly. And I'm sure we'll discover and discuss those things as we progress through our individual playthroughs. Be like, oh, actually, in the main game it said this, and I'm sure there are going to be those little nuances here and there, but it's Nintendo. I wouldn't put it past them to make some crazy thing happen, but at the same time, I don't know. I don't think we need to be, quote, concerned about it breaking canon or anything like that. I don't know. Nothing about it is concerning to me. I know a lot of people who've been getting really up in arms about it. And as much as I am a story and lore person, I'm like, calm down. like I'm just as into it as the next person. I love it. That's why I play Zelda all these years, was because of the music and because of the story. But because frankly, I stink at video games. But based on what we've gotten thus far, I have no qualms about it, breaking anything. Like when I saw the little egg thing go through the time porter, I was certainly shocked, but I was like, oh, I never would have thought of that. Interesting. My only thing is I just hope it always ends with failure, if that makes sense. That's my only hope, is that it ends with failure, knowing that you will not win.
That's the expectation.
Yeah, it's the ultimate pessimist game.
It's because victory comes later.
Does
in
it?
another video
Exactly.
game.
I feel
Sounds
like
like we thought we
it
killed
would be
him.
cheap if we would
Now-
had a chance to win.
Yeah.
It'd be like, what's the point of Breath of the Wild then?
Maybe that's what it's doing. It's giving you the hope that you could win. That way everyone's not expecting that it's just going to go the way that we know it's going to go. So then, like, it has this time travel thing to where you're like, oh, well, maybe I can win. And then you just get
like a red
wrecked at the
herring?
end. Yeah.
Oh, maybe. And I'm sure it'll end like in a really, like, I'm anticipating, and I don't want to get my hopes too high, and I don't mean that in a pessimistic way, but I just always want to be realistic. I'm hoping to get to the end and there just be so much gravity and weight to the end scenes that I'll be like, yes, let's get through Breath of the Wild again. And also something I just thought of is, while there probably will be, quote, mistakes, I say that in quotations, like mistakes, whatever, little differences, you could always, I think a good majority of them will probably be able to check up to, well, things get messed up in translation when you go forward 100 years, right? Nothing's ever told
Sure.
perfectly. So a lot of it, hopefully we can just be like, well, that was 100 years later. The NPC who told us that, how do they know for sure what it was? That was
Yeah.
100 years
True.
ago. They don't know.
True. Like if you think about it, in the Wind Waker, when the fishmen talk to you, they call it the Triumph Force
Fishmen.
because the Triforce
Yeah.
got the idea of the Triforce got so lost in translation over time. So it's not like an odd concept for the series to have myths and legends within itself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
I
So
also want to bring up Skyward Sword had like its own time travel closed loop thing, to where like at the end of it you travel all the way back to kill Demise before he starts, and then you do that, but it doesn't do any good. So then you gotta like,
kill him in the
Someone
present
mentioned
day, and then
that
you have to go
in
back
the
in time
chat,
and kill him in
actually.
the past. And
yeah.
yeah.
And then there's
So
like
it's
the closed loop with like the tree and everything as well. And it's like,
True.
dude, like technically that would have changed a lot, even though it's just one tree, because it brings up the whole paradox of like, well, if the tree was there before, you wouldn't have had to gone back to plant it. But it's like, it's a closed loop thing, so maybe like where Nintendo's done that before, they're like, well, we'll just do that again. To where like it doesn't create a new thing, it just kind of slightly rewrites what happened, but it still has the same ending event.
And you could still have like a quote unquote victory at the end.
Could you?
In quotation marks. Like here's how I kind of imagine it is you have a level that's like close to the end of the game where Link dies. Link falls in battle, right? And that level is just you battling swarms of guardians, and it's intense and it's high pressure and emotional, whatever. And ultimately you have to lose. And then you have to take Link to the Shrine of Resurrection as probably Impa or Purah or Robbie or what have you. And then you have Zelda have a power march to the castle to seal Ganon, and there's your victory, is actually managing to get there successfully and seal him at least for 100 years, and there's your win. And that doesn't break any canon. You still have your quote unquote victory, even if it's more of a band-aid than actually dealing like completely eradicating the problem. But you could still have that sort of win, that sort of success at the end of the mission, as it were.
Yeah.
Or a goal to complete.
Even
there's still ways to do it and have some form of triumph.
And honestly, it gives me chills just to think about getting to that point in the game and getting to see it fully and not just one memory.
Yeah. My thought was, because like with Wind Waker, it kind of rewrites your thoughts of the ending of Ocarina of Time, because at the end of Ocarina of Time you're like, I did it, I saved Hyrule, and then like when you play Wind Waker it's like, nope, it flooded, you did it wrong.
Like, dang it.
So
you done good.
Yeah, so it kind of like makes that ending sort of useless when you look at it as the bigger picture, but when you just look at it as that game on its own, then it's still a good ending.
That is actually such a perfect example.
Yeah.
That is flawless.
So I thought that might be how this game ends, towards like, yeah, everyone kind of dies, but like you still get the big end at the end of it. Like in Ocarina of Time, some of the sages you assume die, because like Darunia goes into the fire temple to fight 𝐓𝐷𝐷𝐷𝐷, and then like you don't see his body anywhere when you go in the room. And then like some of the others as well. So Zelda games have kind of had that before, and then even in Wind Waker there's like the spirits of the sages, so like they're kind of already slightly dead. So in this game I thought it was going to end similar to how Daniel said, to where it's like Link dies and you take his body up to the shrine, and then you take the broken sword to the Deku Tree, and then Zelda, with no one left, marches on to the castle, and then it probably ends with that first scene that we had where it's like her holding her hand up and doing the whole thing, which made me think, like, does that mean like when she did that she had the full Triforce and that was a way for her to get her wish? Or I don't know.
I don't know.
But anyways, Chubes, did you have any thoughts on the way that it might end, or how you expect it to end? I mean, everyone's going to comment below and tell us we're all wrong in a week anyway, but you know, for now.
I mean, Yeah, but I don't. Honestly, my expectation going into it is that I'm fully expecting to feel really, really overwhelmed and sad at the end of it. That's yeah. Who knows? Maybe I'll stream it. Maybe you guys will actually see me like actually cry. I've come pretty close to crying on stream like
Oh
twice.
gosh, same.
Yeah, it was Paper Mario with the bomb guy that died, and then Skyward Sword. So yeah, who knows? That's honestly that's all I'm looking forward to. It's just I love those games where you lose. I love when the heroes lose. I know that sounds really, really weird, and yeah, it's just how I am.
Weird. It's a subversion of your expectations, though, right? We're so
Yeah.
used to every story being, this one of victory, good versus
Yeah.
evil, good triumphs, right? So it's like, this is why Empire Strikes Back is my favorite Star Wars movie, is because essentially it ends in failure. Luke loses the battle against Darth Vader, gets his hand hacked off, and then he falls down a ventilation shaft and almost dies over a gas giant planet. They barely make it out. Han Solo is kidnapped and frozen in carbonite. Like, they go in with this plan to, like, do all this stuff, and they fail miserably and barely come out of it alive. And then they're like, well, damn. And then the movie ends. So,
Yep.
Yeah.
and then even there's, again, one of my favorite shows, Avatar: The Last Airbender. There's a great episode in which they basically gather all these allies that they made throughout the series up until that point and mount an invasion against the enemy. And that episode, too, it's one of their best episodes in the series because it brings all these elements from prior to that all together. And it ends in failure. Absolute powerful failure. And again, they barely escape with their lives. And it's just there is a good thing in storytelling room for really good failure to just make the success later all the more better, basically.
Well,
so
it's
even
like-
And that's such a
Tevi chat, like
experience.
Infinity War as well, right? Like
Yeah.
oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yes,
that
Infinity
kind
War.
of storytelling just like gets me. I love the loss because, like you said, it sets that victory up to just feel so good.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes.
Even
I
when
don't
you know
I
the
don't- how can
victory
I
is
not think of
coming.
Infinity War? What's
Come
the matter
on.
with me?
Daniel, you're like Star Wars, Avatar.
I'm covering most of my
Yeah.
bases here.
It's not
Yeah.
like any big movies came out recently, in the past year or two. Geek, do you have your thoughts on how the game may possibly end?
Just same. That it ends with me probably crying on stream. I was gonna say I also almost cried, but then I realized I did completely break down after the announcement of Breath of the Wild 2.
I was gonna say, like, I feel like
yeah.
I've definitely seen you like openly cry. Like,
Yeah, that was the only time I think I legit full on cried. No shame. I was very happy.
All right, so before we'll end it with a couple of questions from the chat. So if any of you guys can find any questions in the chat, we'll just do two really quick because we didn't have long to go.
yeah.
But while they're looking for questions, for those who are interested, maybe next week, on the 22nd, there may or may not be one of the champions from the Breath of the Wild that will be on.
I'm not available that day.
Yikes.
Dang it.
So we can't necessarily say who, but because we don't know if they're going to come. But it's everyone's favorite champion from Breath of the Wild, because technically we don't know if any of the champions returned to voice in Hyrule Warriors or not. So, but Breath of the Wild for sure.
Ooh, Jorge has a good one. Which character or champion are you guys most excited to play as in the new Warriors game?
Daniel.
Urbosa. Even though Daruk is my favorite champion, seeing that Urbosa gameplay, because we saw both Daruk and Urbosa's gameplay in those live streams. Urbosa's gameplay looks so much fun. Like she looks so fun to play as, with her sword combat and all the lightning attacks and everything. It just looks so fun. So it gets
she
me excited.
definitely looked like the most overpowered.
Yes, I was streaming the a reaction stream to that Treehouse live stream, And someone in my chat was like, "This is like Thor at the end of Ragnarok and an Infinity War. Like that's how powerful Urbosa seems, just because she's just kicking everyone's butts and striking lightning everywhere. It's awesome. So
Amazing.
yeah, even though Daruk is my favorite, sorry Daruk. So,
You just gotta go with the one that looks the most powerful and most fun, and that's Urbosa.
It reminds me of the fight you have with the Lightning Blight, or Thunder Blight Ganon, because he's like zipping around and electrocuting you and stuff. So I wonder if like somewhere in the game the opposite happens, to where now, since you were the one with all the electric stuff, someone comes in that weird rubber suit that you can get as Link. So like none of your electric stuff works against like whatever particular rubber Yiga you're fighting.
Rubber Yiga.
Because like I imagine it, like I imagine somewhere it's gonna like reverse the rules, to where instead of you fighting against someone that's like fully electric, and then you can kind of make it easier by wearing that rubber Link outfit. What's it called?
Someone just shows up as a rubber glove.
Yeah. Maybe, like it had to come from somewhere. Someone had to put it in his chest.
That's fair. That's fair. We got a super chat from Just X. $5. No question. Just because I love you. We love you too.
So what's his question?
He said no question. He literally said it. He said no question.
Geek, can you find the final question?
Wait, weren't we all going to answer that question?
Wait, yeah.
Yeah, only
What's
I
up,
answered.
Daniel?
I'm sorry. I talk too much.
Yeah, Daniel, you're not the only one allowed to answer.
Everybody.
Well, I definitely agree that Urbosa looks the coolest thus far, and probably will end up being the coolest. I'm actually most excited to play as Mipha for character development purposes. Just, I guess, shameless plug, the video I did with the Gamescast, where we looked into the music behind all 4 of the champions. I have a soft spot for Mipha because she's always kind of just brushed off as being the sweet little innocent character, and I'm like, and sometimes that gets portrayed as very weak or meek, and I don't like that concept because I get called innocent a lot, and I hate. That's one of my biggest pet peeves, is being called innocent. Because to me in my head it's synonymous with calling me stupid. So even though I know people don't mean that, so I'm excited to play it as her, because what little like clips we've seen, she looks so cool. So I love the idea that she's really soft-spoken and really sweet and gentle, but also when she has to, she can wipe the floor with you.
Be interesting to see, absolutely, because all we know from her is that she's a good healer.
Yeah.
Well, we know some other things, like it was mentioned, I think in Breath of the Wild's like Champions Ballad, that she was the first one to learn to control the Divine Beast most easily, and that she also was a good warrior. That's why she had such a cool weapon that none of the other Zoras had. So, but yeah, the healing is cool. That makes me wonder actually how her healing ability will play into her gameplay.
Yeah. Because the others seem useful for battle, but hers doesn't. It's useful for after battle.
Who knows?
So yeah, mine's Mipha.
Tubes.
Yeah. My good friend Chris is talking about how, but can you play as Tinkle? No, Tinkle is. Yeah, that character has no place in Age of Calamity. Just doesn't make sense. Don't know why Tinkle would be there. Don't get it. But yeah, definitely, I agree with Daniel. I think Urbosa is the one that I'm most excited about. But that's because I really like Urbosa as a champion. I'm very excited to, get to experience more of that character. People have been talking about being Divine Beast being playable, which is interesting. I don't know how.
Yeah, they showed it in a trailer.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
Looks like it's gonna be sort of that almost like on rail shooter sort of Star Fox like courses.
Yeah,
with them.
So that
very limited, but
I'm very okay, cool concept, but
I don't think you're gonna be able to roam the whole map flying around on the flying beat, or
you'd kill everyone,
whichever one.
Right?
Yeah, it'll probably be just a very set narrow course, you go in a straight line and just shoot all the enemies that are on screen,
probably,
or something.
Yeah. I imagine it would be something like you have a big giant battle to get to the Divine Beast, and then once you get there, as like a bonus for accomplishing the mission, it just lets you use the Divine Beast to like destroy the rest of the people for like 30 seconds before the mission finally ends. Just like a, well, here's a quick bonus as like a congratulations for doing that.
Yeah, kind of like Odyssey when you get to be the
Yeah.
dinosaur for literally like a very small portion of the game.
Yeah, before your champion
Yes.
dies, have some fun.
Or I was even thinking, this is a big spoiler for Odyssey if you guys haven't played it yet, but it's a few years old now. But when you
I gotta
can
cover my
become
ears.
Bowser at the end of the game, right? It's not like you can explore the whole like world as Bowser or whatever. Like you just get like a straight, pretty linear course where you can basically destroy everything in your path because you're super powerful. But then it's just a very limited straight course, and then you're finished. I imagine it'd be similar to that, where you're not gonna go through the whole map as the Divine Beast. You just kind of have this short segment, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and we
And
know
it's gonna
the
be very
areas are sectioned off anyways, so you don't have
That's
the whole
true.
map anyways.
Mhm.
But even then, I don't think you'd be able to go through the whole map. It'd be like
No.
Epona and Ocarina of Time. It's like, yeah, you get a horse, but you can really only go to Lake Hylian.
you
I
have
cry.
this field, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
What was it? Yeah, so my giant hopes was that if you ever did get to play with the champions, it would bring back the gameplay mechanics from Majora's Mask. Where like you could roll around as the Goron or swim really fast as the Zora and stuff like that.
Mm.
And then like Rivali, like the way he can pop up with 𝐓𝐷𝐬𝐢𝐴 is kind of like when you pop up out of a Deku flower as a Deku. So it's sort of similar. But I always thought it would be cool to do that. But since we can't, I would have to say Urbosa. Otherwise, I would go with Mipha.
Daruk can roll around though.
Yeah, but it's not like the rolling in Majora's Mask where you can like
No.
jump.
Yeah,
over
that was
stuff
pretty
and
cool.
Not as cool as
have
that.
energy
The spikes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's really cool, and I think it's going to be great to battle against the champions as well. And then I wonder if, like, as a champion, if you could battle against another champion, and then how awkward is it going to be when Link and Mipha fight? Because
There
like,
probably will be, because actually there was in one of the
Depends on the
Treehouse
kind of
Arena
fight.
stream that Nintendo put out. They did like one of the training missions, so it's still like canon, but it's like, oh, this is an excuse for them to fight. It's a training mission, and Link and Daruk fought in that mission. They fight each other, so they'll probably like work it in there just for fun
yeah.
somewhere. Yeah.
But like even then, I expect Mipha's character to be like her inner monologue, be like, I don't want to hurt him, and then Link,
I don't want to do this. Oh,
Yeah.
she can heal him after. It's fine.
yeah.
Fine.
And then with Rivali, it's like he finally gets what he wants to attack Link.
And
Yeah.
I can imagine that not even being a training mission. They just probably will
Yeah.
fight just because.
Because like it looks like, you know, when Daruk shows up, it's like, yeah, it looks like he's trying to test him in Lon Lon Ranch, but then when you see that 2-second clip from the cutscene with Rivali like jumping over Link and shooting him with the arrow, it's like he's going for the kill.
the one that's become like a top tier meme.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
Rivali's behind him with the bow.
Yeah, I gotta
Yep.
call up
Yep.
Sean and be like, what's going on here?
What's going on?
Like, yeah. So how's everyone? Final thoughts on expectations for Hyrule Warriors. The first reviews came out, I think, and I got the way Famitsu reviews the games is they have 4 different reviewers, and they all gave it a 9 out of 10. So collectively, it was like 36 out of 40. Which 36
Wow.
out of 40 doesn't sound as impressive as 4 9s out of 10, but
Right.
90%.
yeah.
We'll just go with that. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I'm excited. We're a couple days away from launch.
This
really
Friday?
I really hope I have the time to sit down and play it because like I loved the demo. It was hard for me to find time to even play it, but
Yeah.
definitely
me
like,
too.
I'm very excited to jump into this.
All right,
Same.
Geek.
I am just very excited. It comes out. Hopefully, it'll get to my place the day of because I stream that evening. So very excited.
All right. So going around saying our goodbyes, starting with you, Geek. Where can
I am
people-
the Geek Apprentice. I do videos on my channel, like I said in the beginning of the podcast. I in the middle of Hunger Games month. There's a whole explanation behind. But I talk about many geeky things: Zelda, Harry Potter, Hunger Games, How to Train Your Dragon, many things. I also have Instagram, the Geek Apprentice, and I stream usually on Fridays and Sundays, depending on my schedule and what time. But yeah, you can find me on everything at the Geek Apprentice.
All right, Choops. Where can people find you?
Yeah. You can find me at Twitter. It is 𝐓𝐷𝐬𝐿𝐼. I haven't really been streaming because I'm in the same boat as Jesse, in which I have been moving and just super busy with life. But when I am streaming, it is twitch.tv/𝐓𝐷𝐬𝐼 with an extra A. My next game that we're going to dive into is going to be Fire Emblem Three Houses, and we're doing the Golden Deer playthrough because everyone seems to really be simping for Claude. But yeah.
All right, Daniel.
Yes, I'm Daniel. That's Capt Bergerson on everything: Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Everything Capt Bergerson. CAPTBURGERSON. I know how to spell my own name. And I also do videos. Actually, if you enjoyed this discussion, you might like one of my newest videos that I did with 𝐓𝐷𝐬𝐼 on my channel, where we talked very in depth about everything we loved and didn't love, and etc. about the demo for Age of Calamity as well. And there's a lot of just nonsense there as well, because that's our personality for you. So,
we've just known each other for too long.
Exactly. And otherwise, I also stream twice a week on Twitch, on my Twitch channel. I've been streaming Pikmin 3 Deluxe because I'm way too obsessed with that game right now. But once Age of Calamity comes out, definitely we'll be streaming that. So if you're excited for the game, like all of us are, definitely come hang out, watch me freak out and nerd out about everything. So yeah, that's me.
All right, and everyone, thank you all for watching. You can find me, everything is at 𝐵𝐴𝐺𝐺𝐵. I'm hoping, since we did the regular podcast this week, next week it'll be a little bit better, and we can continue the way it used to be, where we actually had the podcast weekly instead of once a month, maybe, if we're lucky. And then other scripted videos, theories, top 10, stuff like that's going to be coming out as well as some scripted videos on like the lore and backstory stuff of Hyrule Warriors as we play through it and cover and learn about some details and other story stuff. So that'll be all fun. Thank you all for coming, and thank you everyone for watching. I don't know how many people's been watching during this, but thank you all. I haven't been able to see. My phone's messed up.
We're at 50 people watching.
Sweet. That's good
15.
for not having it in a long time. Yeah. So again, next week we may or may not be having one of the champions from Breath of the Wild on the podcast. So yeah, be excited for that. Comment below. Let us know who you think it might be. And yeah, thank you all for watching.
Bye.
Bye.